Hey, thanks for tuning in. It's Lokazi. Here we have a game. I'm Zerg, red Zerg in the bottom left here on Zelnaga Caverns versus a Terran player, blue in the top right on Zelnaga Caverns. The courteous hi, good luck, have fun thrown out by the other player. I may or may not return it, depending on how much attention I'm actually paying at the beginning of the game. Now, this was an older version, so I'm guessing it's 1.1.1 when I tried to load up this map, which means that barracks can be built without, yes, they can be built without supply depots, so this is 1.1.1. The replay I just casted a minute ago, also from 1.1.1, they'll be going up nearly the same time. And that was with the roaches with the 3 range. Of course, the 4 range Zerg upgrade has been put in for roaches, and man, are they a lot better with just that extra 1 range. You wouldn't really think it would make that much of a difference, but it really does, especially versus, say, Protoss players, where it's much easier to kite those Zeals. You have that extra 1 space, which is 33% more space pretty much, to kite those Zeals to fire, back up, fire. Now I'm going for an econ build, it looks like here. 13 drones out on the field. Meanwhile, the Terran player has his 12th coming out of his command center. And he's sending an SCV across the map to scout whether or not I'm throwing up a fast expansion, very likely. Now, I just came from BlizzCon the last two days ago. I just got back. And it looks like he's coming up and scouting me here. And at BlizzCon, I saw a lot of Terran vs. Zerg play. I did see Boxer versus Fruit Dealer in an exhibition match, which was just amazing to watch. And Boxer did come and block the ramp here. Say if this was Boxer, which I'm glad it's not, obviously. He would come block the ramp here with 2 bunkers, which prevents the drones from running around and surrounding and picking off the SCVs. They can only be attacked when they're on the front side building, which really helps secure and take out this natural expansion, or at least prevent it going up as fast, or damaging it enough that they can pick it off, perhaps. And it looks like I've thrown down the pool. I guess I threw it down at about 12. And an extractor is going up for me as well. I'm probably going to be going for Zergling speed and Banelings, which is what I like to do versus Terran players to defend against early stim pushes. Because early stim pushes, while not quite as effective as they are against Protoss, are still very effective against Zerg. Stim are an extremely powerful move, doubling pretty much the effectiveness of all units, and well, I guess it's about 75% more. The effectiveness of all units that are stemmed, so really helping out at the cost of really not that much HP, especially on Marauders. Now I'm throwing down 2 Spine Crawlers here to help with Marauders. Of course, Zerglings the counter to Marauders, Banelings the counter to Marines. Spine Crawlers the counter to Marauders more than Marines, but also good. The key to beating a Terran player is really out-expanding them at all times. When they have 1 base, you need 2 bases. When they have 2 bases, you need 3 bases. And luckily, it's fairly easy to at least take the first base as Zerg, as it requires pretty much an all-in aggression-wise to be able to take out a expansion right off the bat. Now, I am going to move these Spine Crawlers down. They're going to be a little bit slow coming off this creep. My queen is also coming down the hill. It looks like I'm going to be placing a creep tumor right there, which is a good place because then it can creep up the ramp and you can kind of go along the side here and get a path toward your enemy's base. I'm not producing a second queen, which playing more Zerg, I like to start the second queen on this expansion as soon as possible. He scans not really seeing anything. He's kind of scanning up the hill, which is interesting because he knows that I have an expansion. He saw it there, he poked at it. So you would assume that he would scout the expansion, or at least near the ramp, so that way he could see what type of unit composition I have, as I'm probably not going to be hiding my units at the top of the hill when I have an expansion. Baneling Nest is going down. I'm keeping even on pace here with drones, really important, as you can really fall behind if you're not paying attention and producing units, or working on your defenses. Now I'm bringing these 2 Spine Crawlers back toward the edge, out of fear of likely a Hellion harassment running up into the main of my base. You can also position your queen here at the top of the ramp to help block Hellions from getting in your base, which is a really good idea and really helps and prevents that from happening. Second extractor going down. I'm getting more gas for those Banelings, as I'm sure there's going to be some type of a push here coming up. Most Terran players will try and take you out at 1 or 2 bases, because that's really when they have the most advantage over you. Later in the game, you can really outproduce them out of 2 or 3 bases compared to their 1 or 2 bases very easily, and preventing them from expanding is extremely easy with Zerglings and Banelings. All you have to do is roll about 12 banelings into a, uh, 12 banelings into a, I can't think of it for the life of me right now, the Terran defensive unit, the Terran command center morph, planetary fortress. That's what I was going for. A little bit of a long day. All you have to do is morph it into a planetary fortress and it'll take out most Zerglings, but you can run quite a few banelings in, especially if they're spread out, and get in there and blow it up with about 12 to 16. Well, it's a pretty hefty investment, and it's also a pretty easy investment to take out such an important building. And extremely fast if their army's not in the right position, really taken down easily. Now I am spreading this creep. Hopefully I'm going to go to the right here and kind of get this all encircled, but I think I might head north toward the Zelnaga Tower. Both hatcheries are injected right now. Looks like I was a little bit behind with my queen and let it build up a little bit of energy. Have 3 spine crawlers down right now, just a few Zerglings, just a few banelings, but that'll probably be enough to hold off this force. There's 2 Marauders and 2 Hellions. Hellions and Marauders, of course, will be easily taken out. I'm going to go ahead and looks like morph all of those into banelings, and he lures those banelings into it. Very nicely done by him. That one baneling getting close enough to blow up. These Zerglings backing up, more Zerglings coming out. So I was a little haphazard with my banelings, but these Zerglings are going to be enough to take out these remaining troops, it looks like, as they were splashed by at least one of the banelings getting into them. So I'm now at the economic advantage, having my base up for quite a while, fending off his first early push. He didn't have stim. He went ahead and went for concussive, and it looks like combat shields, which is an interesting choice. Stim really can help versus banelings, as it's much easier to kite with a stimmed unit than a non-stimmed unit, obviously. Getting a little lax on my creep spreading here. Really important, really needs to be done. But like I said, see how it spread up the hill without me really even having to worry about it? Good way to defend the front of your base and keep your creep spread out is the way I did it right here. Now, had I been a little bit more diligent, the creep could probably be about out here by now. And this little patch of creep is just enough room for the queen to run back and forth if you are using one queen because you are bad and haven't built a second one like I am doing in this game. Now I have tacked up to a lair and I am getting a spire. Baneling, Zergling, Mutalisk, an extremely potent combination, especially with 1 or 2 infestors to hold down stimmed units, can really eat through a Terran's Bioball. Now, what I like to do when I'm Terran, I'll probably cast a Terran versus Zerg game with me being Terran after this, is I like to go for the mech build, of course. Not so much the Stim Marine, Stim Marauder build, the MMM, that a lot of Terran players still do, even though it's really been proven over and over again that the mech builds are have a little bit higher success rate, it seems, versus Zerg. Now, a really important thing to research is Zerg, especially when it's Bioball, but just in general, is baneling speed. Baneling speed is so important. Rolling banelings, vastly superior to non-rolling banelings. So much quicker. And keeping them on creep as much as possible also really helps. I'm throwing out a second creep tumor, it looks like, to spread across the map. And my first 5 Mutalisks are out on the field. So I have a decent force of banelings, Zerglings, and Mutalisks. If he came across the map right now, I would probably fairly easily beat him down. I have not watched this game in a long time. I think